for coming to the first annual State of La Jolla address. My name is Steve Haskins and I'm the president of the La Jolla Town Council. We believe that bringing together various groups and civic organizations in La Jolla at the same time and at the same place provides a great opportunity for all La Jollans to get to know who these groups are, what they do, and whether you want to be involved with one or more of them. We do have quite a few groups in La Jolla. Tonight's event is the first in a series of events like this that will go on throughout this year. Tonight is focused on organizations that deal with land use and governmental matters. The next event, the State of La Jolla, will be for arts and culture. And museums, historical society, and other groups will attend that and all together and give presentations in the same way that you'll see the speakers giving presentations this evening. We'll also have one for clubs and charitable organizations like the Women's Club, Lions, and Kiwanis. And there will also be one for churches and religious organizations later on in the year. So we expect that this will be a coming together of a lot of different groups that do different things, all volunteers, all people who give their time for free for what they believe to be the betterment of our community, La Jolla. Our next speaker is a longtime community volunteer, has been involved in many organizations over the years. He's now appearing here as president of the La Jolla Village Merchants Association. Please welcome C.A. Marengo.
Good evening. Thank you, Steve Haskins, President Steve Haskins and the Town Council. I appreciate you inviting us here and holding this. Thanks to the other chairs of the respective organizations. Joe said he was going to start the bar low. I'm going to show you how low it can really go. We are one of the smaller groups in town, but we're a very active and very aggressive group. We're the La Jolla Village Merchants Association. We're formerly the Promote La Jolla Inc. And what we do, we have been self-taxed to better our situation in the community, to promote and to create an environment that is vibrant for our shoppers and for our businesses, and to keep that tourist situation alive that we all enjoy. Our area of influence starts up at Torrey Pines Road at Prospect Street. It heads due north along Prospect, hits the beach line, all the way across the beach line, heading west to La Jolla Boulevard. From La Jolla Boulevard, it goes over to Marine Street, where you have the liquor store and El Ranchero. It stops at that point, doubles back, hits Pearl Street on both sides, and it comes back up to Torrey Pines, and then spotted in the middle of that, there are some places that are in and out of that jurisdiction. We have our board of directors. Tonight we have James Niebling, our vice president. He's here today, and Paul Burke, our treasurer, Krista Baruti, our secretary, and Carol Mills is on our board. She's our, how should I say this? I was going to give you a list of who represents our merchants here, and in that board we have Carol Mills, who's a clinical therapist, Elsie Arredondo, Monarch Galleries on Gerard, Claudette Berwin, who's a real estate agent on Gallery Properties, Leon Chow, CNH Photo, Terry Underwood from Grand Colonial, Richard Walker for Richard Walker's Pancake House, Kevin Smith, real estate agent, Nancy Warwicks. We also have Glenn Rasmussen, who's an attorney here in La Jolla a long time, Michael Dorvier from The Car Show and Symbio Financial, and Billy Borgia, who showed up tonight as well from Orange Theory, which is really banging it out of the park this year. And of course, our esteemed executive director, Sheila Fortune, who's right over here. A lot of our subcommittees, what we try to do within our subcommittees is to become a group that communicates. So as we're advocating for our merchants and doing what we think is best to speak on their behalf and to act on their behalf, we try to keep ourselves alive also in participating in all the other groups. So this is one of the reasons that we appreciate what Steve's done tonight in putting this together. This makes it more formalized. We try to participate and get involved in all the other organizations and their subcommittees and see how it affects us and how we can partake in that discussion. Some of those organizations are the PDO, the Planned District Ordinance, the Traffic and Transportation Board, and the Coastal Access. And of course, all those subcommittees have an effect on our local businesses. some of the items that we worked on this past year, we're pretty young when you consider La Jolla Village Merchants Association started out. And so in me coming in and taking on presidency, I had really big eyes coming from an architectural background and design aspect. I said, wow, this is a great opportunity. Let's redesign the whole place. And realizing that when the organization started, they were starting from not too much in terms of events and items that they had done in the past, such as the car show and the art and wine walk and things like that. So we don't have those things under our umbrella anymore. However, it's a great opportunity for us as an organization to create new ones. And we kind of look like we were the fathers of those events. Now we can come and see our kids and create some new blood here. And some of the new ones that we looked at starting in 2014 was trying to have, if you all remember back, I think about 20 years ago, there was La Jollaopoly that had been brought into town, and it had done a great deal. And we tried to revitalize that. It took a little longer than we thought, and we were hoping that we didn't quite get that one off the ground, but we think that this year that we'll get that. We've relocated the makers from Hasbro that have the license for La Jolla, and we think that now that we've got a good chance to get the backing that we need to do that. We also spent a lot of time, this one you'll remember, because it's still here. We spent a lot of time with the smell at La Jolla Cove. The smell was something that kind of diverted my whole year's focus because it really affected our businesses. You couldn't go into a business without feeling it inside of the business. And one of my businesses sits right there on the cove, and imagine ordering a coffee and smelling the wonderful waft of air that you get with the aroma of a coffee bean. So we spent a lot of time not only in Sherry Leitner's office, and we thank her for her efforts on that, but also in Scott Peters' office, Congressman Scott Peters. And then we went further up to CDC for Center for Disease Control to ask how we can get some help. We felt that this was affecting our employees and our livelihood. We also educated ourselves at the wildlife areas. We went to every department we could that could have a voice, because we kept hearing how difficult it was to work within the environmental areas of La Jolla Cove. We finally got an agreement from Mayor Faulkner. They had this spraying, which came from the whole council and the mayor's office, and it was more on a response basis. We've been promised that since that time that they were going to do it monthly, regardless, whether it smelled or not, whether they got a complaint or not. They were going to continue their monthly efforts until we smelled the chemical of the stuff that they were spraying. And I'm hoping that that's going to be the thing that takes care of it. We know that activity has been great for that. By opening up the gates, we saw some movement. We also saw some movement of the smell. So the minute that they dispersed in one area, they started to burrow themselves, the cormorants and the sea lions. And I learned the difference between a sea lion and a seal. Apparently in La Jolla, we know the difference. And so we noticed that they started to burrow and that the smell started to shift to another direction. And so with that, we're hoping that more activity, like we had in the 60s, in the 70s, where people were sunbathing and playing around the cliffs without causing too much burden on our lifeguards, that we could turn that water park into something that's more active and maybe less, working with the animals instead of trying to segregate the two of us, and maybe the smell will go away. And we hope that for 2015. Another item we did, which was more recent, was the Sparkle and Shine. You might have noticed the banners that are up on Troy Pines and around the village. And this was a concerted effort spearheaded by Nancy Warwick to kind of get ourselves together. We get a lot of phone calls in terms of, hey, what do you guys do? Why are we paying for you? And as much as that sounds, people don't understand something that's happened so far ago, and I used to be one of those people. I remember when I first got the bid text, and I go, okay, I'm paying for something, what is it? And I went and asked, and at that time, they told me, well, we promote the district and we do all this stuff. And I said, okay, well, promote me. Get me going, do all this stuff. And the more you communicate, the more you find out how much this community can actually do for you. Not only the one that we do, but the ones that the town council runs, the CPA and the La Jolla Shores, the whole shebang. We are a bunch of volunteers. I don't think any of us do it for the money, because it's really not for the money. And the more you get educated in this process, the more you see that the city has available to you. It just takes a little bit of effort. And that's one of the main reasons I volunteer, and I can tell you from my executive board that they're all very talented business people. And if you have a chance to make a decision and someone's giving you that opportunity, you should take that chance and hence be involved in these community groups and volunteer your time to the community we love. So, going into, well, I was talking about Sparkle and Shine, and so what we decided was everyone kept saying, we need you guys to clean up my space. I mean, I come to work and my storefront's dirty. There's trash on the sidewalk in front of my business. Well, you know, I agree that should be cleaned up, but I also think that that should be cleaned up by the business and the property owner that has that business. So we're trying to help and educate that, not be a negative and say, hey, you go take care of it yourself. We initiate help and show how we can pick up some of the larger items. I think I spent one of the weekends when somebody was calling me after the storm saying, hey, all these pond froms are in front of my door and I can't get customers in. And I was kind of shocked because I was in the middle of a meeting. And I said, okay, fine. And I called Sheila and we got together in my car and we went and threw all the pond froms in my car and took them to a dumpster just down the street. Very basic stuff. My vice president, I saw this morning when I was trying to talk to him, he kept bending over and picking up trash while I was talking to him. So I appreciate his love for the community, and I think that that's what Sparkle and Shine is all about, is caring about our community, and the proof's in the pudding. When we did the advertisement on the banners, we raised over $54,000 in people who care about raising money to keep this village clean. And we're happy to say that we're starting to see the effects of that, of the sidewalk getting cleaned up, and we hope that that turns into an inventory of what streets need to be repaired and how, and, you know, putting onto our new year the trash cans getting revitalized. They're from 1962, blue and concrete pebble that are so worn out. And when we talk to Park and Rec, they say, oh, you can't change those. We don't have to, you know, they have to be a certain model, a certain thing. And we want to educate and say, no, you can change those. Let's just make it regular. Let's just make it something that you can handle, that you have the slave key to, and let us privately fund it, put it together so that we can have something better for our community. Better for our tourists to see, not these overflowing trash cans right outside of our post office. Those things hurt. So some of our goals for 2015, going forward, we're going to try and pick up what I got big-eyed over in 2014, weigh those out with our group and see what's worth keeping and what's worth letting go. And I think I come more prepared in 2015 to call this year, you know, instead of regulating the way I did in 2014 to kind of try and get my legs stabilized, I think we're going to use education as our mission for this year, and for ourselves as well as for our merchants, to try and make them stronger. We're going to try and make ourselves as a merchants association an advocacy for all our merchants down at City Hall. We're going to, we're doing one right now where there's one of our merchants has a code violation, and they need help. They don't know what to do. They're thinking that La Jolla is too tough and it makes it harder for business, and that's why we see some of these stores shut down. They go, it's just not worth it anymore. We want to help in that because it is worth it, and La Jolla is a great place to be in and to be a merchant in. And so we're reaching out and we're going and talking on behalf of the merchant and assisting them through the code process and seeing how we can work politically to help them out. And we hope that that spreads. We hope that all the stores that are empty get more information about the zoning so that they can come to the La Jolla planning groups and the town councils and get the support well in advance and well notified of what they're coming into so that they can flourish and prosper in this community. We also are looking at a big change in our retail. We've gone from some mom and pop shops, which are always near and dear to our heart and will always be near and dear to our heart because that's La Jolla. But we're getting some interesting new retailers. So we're getting the cinema, like the Sinopolis group, and we're very excited about that. We have the Culture and Arts building, which is coming online. We're very excited about that. But it's created a different vibe in a new area. So as a Merchants Association, we're trying to be very creative to see how we can revitalize that part of La Jolla. And when you go to these other meetings, you hear other people's opinions. And I went to the Planning Association, and Fran Zimmerman was discussing the impacts of one of our businesses that we're trying to open up. And she brought light to me in saying, well, you're going to have these two big entities, and then you have the market, and then you have, a couple stores, and that's all you have on the street. So it's pretty blank as you go down walking. And I thought, wow, that's true. However, the benefit is we have an opportunity for an entertainment district, which we've never had before. We've had a restaurant row. We've had the main Prospect Street as the lifeblood. But now we have an opportunity for an entertainment district, and I thought, what a great way to do a celebrity walk. We have enough celebrities in this town. I see a few celebrities in the room. So, Chuck Norris is in the back. I had to take that one. So we thought, what a great way to pay homage to those celebrities that are here by creating a celebrity walk from one end to the other, so that when you're coming from Pearl Street all the way to Prospect Street, that you can learn about the people that live here in town. You can have a connection from one end to the other, and our goal as an association is to try and create a walking loop. Not a drop off on Prospect and walk back and forth, maybe hit Girard halfway up and then come back after you hit Mons, but to actually experience and loop the whole area so you don't need your car. And the way to do that is to make the area like a shopping center, vibrant at each point, make a focal point and connect it. And that is our goal, and that's how we're going to try and educate our members to bring in more new blood. We're out talking to a new, like Whole Foods, to pick up where Jonathan's left off, and hopefully entice them to come into town to supplement our bonds and put it in an area so that you hit both parts without impacting the community. So we're very, very aggressive, as you can see. We don't stop with just waiting for another duplicate store of what we already have. We want variety. We want La Jolla to stay and shop in La Jolla and shop small and shop often. With that, I thank you very much. And sorry I don't have a PowerPoint, but that's the best one I've got. Thank you.